Hello and welcome to the Howard Wright Know Your Money podcast. I'm Ashley Smith.
And I'm Tom Richards.
On the Know Your Money podcast, we talk about everything finance, from financial planning tips to how what's going on in the world around you affects the money in your wallet and, most importantly, your financial future.
If this podcast helps you, please like and subscribe so that we can help as many people as possible moving forwards. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing self-invested personal pensions, or more commonly known as SIPPs. These are designed to give you greater control over your retirement savings. So, Ashley, can you explain what makes a SIPP different to other pensions?
Of course, Tom, no problem at all. So, generally speaking, a SIPP is a pension. There is no huge difference, but there are a few key differences between the two. And the real key difference is that a SIPP allows increased access to different asset classes relative to a standard pension.
That's great. Thank you very much for that. A question that I think we hear a lot from clients at Howard Wright is that, are SIPPs suitable for everyone? Could you just expand on that a little bit, if possible?
Of course. So no, SIPPs are not suitable for everybody. If you don't want to invest across all of the different asset classes that are open to a SIPP relative to your more traditional standard pension, or if you don't think that you'll make use of all those investment choices that the SIPP can give you, then a SIPP probably isn't right for you. Anybody that's got a pension, whether it be a SIPP or a standard pension, should regularly review their pensions, of course, and their investments, their financial plan, and they should seek independent or financial advice to ensure that any investments, any assets they've got in their SIPP remain suitable for them and for their objectives. One thing to say about SIPPs, and we do find this sometimes with clients, is that if you're not using all of the features that a SIPP provides, and actually you could be using a standard lower cost pension, often the higher cost SIPP isn't right for you at that point.
That's great. Thank you for explaining that. Another question I think that our listeners and clients would be very interested in hearing from you is, can you put property into a SIPP, and if so, what type of property?
You can put property in. So based upon the current legislation, you can only purchase commercial property through a SIPP. You can't put residential property in your pension. That includes buy-to-lets. They are residential properties, so you couldn't put those in. Many of the clients at Howard Wright that do utilise SIPPs do so in order to own their business premises, actually, rather than just a random commercial property. So if you're a business owner, director, and you have your own business property, using a SIPP to purchase that can be quite a tax efficient way of getting money from the business into your pension via rent, as well as contribution.
Could you very quickly just explain, Ash, how much involvement is required in managing a SIPP?
Of course. So while SIPPs are definitely suited to investors who are keen to look after their own money, or those that want to purchase a commercial property, including their own business premises within their pension, you don't necessarily have to be confident with investing or making investment choices when it comes to managing your SIPP. You can still benefit from the financial planning and investment management that you will get from any financial advisor. For the most part, they will have access to SIPPs through their propositions. Self-invested personal pensions are often described by the providers themselves as well as being right for people who want the freedom to choose and manage their own retirements, but it doesn't have to be the case. As I've said, you can use the investment experience of a financial advisor. Key thing as well when it comes to pensions is that you should investigate the costs carefully before setting up a SIPP or a standard pension. Do you really need all of those extra features that are available through a SIPP, or actually is a standard lower cost pension just right for you?
Now, I'm sure there'll be many business owners listening to this podcast and wondering what they should do next and if a SIPP can meet the requirements. Could you explain to our listeners how you and our chartered advisors at Howard Wright can help our listeners with setting up a SIPP?
Of course. So as always, we'd be happy to discuss whether a SIPP is right or not for individuals or business owners, and look at all aspects of their financial planning requirements as well. Best way to do that, as always, is to visit the website www.howardwright.co.uk and fill in our inquiry form, or give us a call on 0345 688 4939. We'll be able to advise and answer any questions that you may have about SIPPs or your financial planning needs in more general terms. Thank you very much for listening to the Howard Wright Know Your Money podcast. I've been Ashley Smith.
And I've been Tom Richards.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe or share on your socials. And if you're listening to us on Apple Music or Spotify, please drop us a follow and leave us a review.
It really helps other people find the podcast, enabling them to know their money better and build stronger financial futures. Please also check out the Howard Wright Linktree for loads more tips, tricks, articles, videos and podcasts just like this one. And most importantly, stay tuned for future episodes.
This recording contains information from sources believed to be reliable, but no guarantee, warranty or representation express or implied is given to its accuracy. Howard Wright does not undertake any obligation to update or revise any future statements. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future results. Investments can go down as well as up, and actual results could differ materially from those anticipated. This recording is for the information purposes only and has no regard to the specific investment objectives or financial situation of any individual. The information contained in this recording is not intended to constitute and should not be construed as investment or financial advice. Appropriate personalized advice should always be taken before entering into any transactions. No responsibility can be accepted for any loss arising from action taken or refrain from being taken based on this publication. Howard Wright is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.